What is up, my beautiful friends of YouTube? This is going to be the worst video that I have ever made. And you might be wondering to yourself, what do you mean by that exactly? And well, we don't have anything new to do to the BMW E30 today or the Mark II. So you guys are just gonna get a video of me yapping to myself while I do some stuff around the shop. Now, as you guys know, I am an elementary teacher, and with that comes a lot of sickness. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Brett, you don't sound that sick right now. Well, let me tell you, I feel like absolute crap. Last week, 4 of my students were sitting at the table that I work at, and they were all, at the same time, blowing their nose. And I kid you not, they all had the flu. And I paused to myself in the middle of the lesson, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna get sick, and I'm gonna be miserable. And you know, quite honestly, I'd like to think of myself as a tough guy. I'm pretty strong, and I can deal with sickness somewhat well. But ever since starting teaching about 2 years ago, I have been sick more times than I have ever been in my life. And quite frankly, I can't take it anymore. And it was at that moment I realized that teaching was no longer my dream. It had always been my dream since I was in middle school. I went through college, got my degree, got my first job, and I was in absolute love. But lately, my passion and my love for teaching has slowly dwindled. It's been something that I've come to dread going to work, and I never want that because those kids don't deserve that. Now, does that mean I'm showing up to work every day absolutely miserable and that's apparent to the kids? Absolutely not. I still put on a face and I still try to make their days as great as I possibly can because that's what they deserve. They're amazing kids. To them, I seem like the same old happy-go-lucky Mr. Horn, but I know deep down on the inside, I'd rather be here. And you might be asking yourself, well, Brett, why did you become a teacher in the first place? It's because I knew that I had a skill for it, and I knew that I would have a passion for it as I got older. So you might be wondering to yourself, well, what are you gonna do if you don't love teaching anymore and you'd rather just be working on cars? This is what I wanna do. Well, that's one way to disconnect it. Anyway, I've always had a passion for entertaining people ever since I was a young old lad. And I've also always had a passion for working on cars and being around cars and just doing car stuff. And during my short time on YouTube, this has allowed me to have a creative outlet. Like when I tell you I've always wanted to be an entertainer, I'll show you guys some clips. In high school, I danced almost pretty much naked on stage in front of a couple hundred people to My Humps by the Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I also rapped Walk It in My Pocket to a frickin' Migos beat. And it was pretty funny, and I didn't win. The prize was free prom tickets. I didn't win. I got second place. But anyway, my point is I have found a new passion with this YouTube stuff, and it's made me realize that this is what I want to do. I want to work my absolute tail off to become one of the best automotive YouTubers that there has ever been. But in this current day and age of automotive YouTube, is it going to be possible for somebody like me with such little money and humble projects be able to make it in the automotive YouTube world? Realistically, I'd probably say no, but so here's Brett with finally 2 hours of spare time that he's going to use to drop a subframe before he goes to work tomorrow morning to teach a bunch of children while he's sick. Sometimes I have to stop and, yeah, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Ow! Nope, that's just stripping it. Fudge! Anyway, I'm not using this as like a woe is me, I want to quit my job, please help me quit my job. No, I'm posting this as this is what it's really like. This is what life like a car guy really is. But if I'm one of the few lucky ones who makes the right choices, has the right skills, and gets lucky enough, I might be able to make my dreams come true. And I'm going to work my absolute tail off to get to that point. So if you guys have come from my TikTok or my Instagram channel, then you guys know that I have a 5-year goal of mine, which is to quit teaching, finish the E30, drive as much as I possibly can on real life and the sim, and eventually become a full-time content creator / professional drifter. That's the 5-year plan. And for whatever reason in my brain, I think that there's not a single fiber in my being that can't do that. And for some of you, this might be the first video that you see of mine, so hello, welcome, thanks for checking the channel out. But pretty much what I'm telling you guys is that I want to bridge the gap between YouTuber and normal car person. Because as you guys know, YouTuber car people, they are doing the absolute most all the time. Like, none of us can actually afford that. You guys don't get to look at my belly for free. I'm sorry. You got to pay for the special subscription. Like, realistically, this car is probably going to take me a year and a half to completely build, if not more. And even then, that's kind of unrealistic for a lot of normal car people. Sometimes their car builds take years. But I guess basically pretty much what I'm saying is I don't want to be that YouTuber that starts out with humble beginnings and then switches up on you guys last second and it's like, I bought a supercar. And then they kind of like lose their touch with the community that they've built. I don't want to do that. But really, that's all I got for today's yap session. I got to finish up taking off these bolts for the control arm, and then we should be able to drop the subframe. Why am I dropping the subframe? I don't know, because I don't have anything to do. I have no money, I'm sick, and I want to feel like I did something productive, even though I'm kind of going backwards by taking out the subframe. But that's okay. Sometimes you got to take a couple steps back to take a lot of steps forward. And I won't lie, sometimes it is really nice just to lay on a concrete floor that's like just a little bit cold when your back hurts and you don't really feel that great. This is really nice, I'm not going to lie. What am I doing? All right, let's get back to work. All right, but now she should be pretty much ready to come out. Now I just got to back out the rest of the subframe bolts and then do the top coilovers, and then it should just kind of flop down. I hope. I'm a little bit scared. Now, I kind of forgot what I was saying in my big, long-winded yap sesh, but essentially, 5-year plan, become full-time content creator, stop teaching because I'm sick, and as you guys can tell, as this video goes on, I'm slowly losing my voice more and more. I definitely have the flu. I'm 100% going to wake up tomorrow and be, like, feverish. Gosh darn it, dude. No way. So stupid. But now I can just zip these off, and then we should have a subframe coming right up. I saw where that one went. One subframe coming right up. I might have like too much confidence, like a scary amount of confidence that I can do this. I don't know why. There's something in my being that's like, yeah, you can do this, no problem. Does that make me sound cocky? I really hope not. But when you listen to like NFL quarterbacks and they go up there on the podium after a game, like you never hear them, like they have never any doubt in their mind that they're going out there and they're going to win every single time. I think you just have to have that level of confidence to be able to make it in such a competitive industry like this. Zip, zip, zip. Zippity, zip, zuba. Why does this one have 4 holes on the strut tower and that one only has 3? What's going on here? Wow. Hello. We're just going to slowly lower this jack. And then the subframe should just kind of chill. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I can't believe this went perfectly to plan. Now is it just going to roll? Can I just... No, it's not. This is a video on how to not take your subframe out on a BMW E30, by the way. This is probably bad, but all of these bushings are gone, so like I don't even care if they overstretch or whatever, so everything's getting replaced. Yeah, bro, what do you know about that stance life, homie? I got that negative 40 camber, dog. You know somewhere out in the world that there's like a legit stancy boy who wants their car to actually look like this. Like this isn't even a joke, and I just rolled my ankle, dude. What the fuck? I want you to stand up so I can show everybody stuff, so I can teach them. I want to teach them stuff. I want to make this really simple that even a 5-year-old kindergarten student could understand this. This is a subframe. It is essentially a cradle that holds your engine into the bay. And not only does it hold the engine in the engine bay, but it also holds all of the steering and suspension components. As far as steering goes, the BMW E30 might be a little bit different. Every car is going to be a little bit different, but the steering rack up here is connected to the front of the subframe. And as you can see, this is the inner tie rod, and then out goes to the outer tie rod. And the outer tie rod connects to the knuckle, and it might be called a couple other things, but I call it a knuckle, so that's what it's going as. So basically the knuckle is what your wheel attaches to on the brake hub assembly, and it turns like this. It's a knuckle. The knuckle is what holds your wheel hub, your wheel bearing, all of the things that make the wheels go spinny whoosh whoosh, and it also holds your brake rotors and your brake calipers, so when you're going spinny whoosh whoosh, you can go and stop. And it also holds on to your suspension, which this has front coilovers, which are Racelins, and I hope to God that these, I never see these again. I never want to see these again. I have Racelins on my Mark II. If you have Racelins, I respect you. I get it. It's the struggle. You got what you got, and you just got to, but the day that you can afford nicer suspension, get nicer suspension. These Racelands will be going bye-bye. You guys will see what's going on in the future. I know what set of coilovers we're getting, and hopefully we have those soon. And then down here are the control arms. The control arms are kind of a little bit more complicated, but they're a part of your steering geometry, and it's really confusing, and I don't actually really know how to explain it right now because I don't feel like doing that. And then back here is going to be your sway bar, which runs across the subframe, which essentially gives your steering a level of stability. You could spend hours and hours going into like all the geometry and the suspension geometry and all that crazy stuff, but one, I don't have the knowledge because I don't want to relay something that's incorrect and spread misinformation. I am not the most knowledgeable car person out there. When I started this car journey a year ago, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and I decided to swap in a 5-cylinder Volkswagen into an older Mark II Golf. I dove headfirst into it. I had no clue what I was doing, and since then I've learned a crap ton, but I still don't know everything. So if I ever say something wrong in a video, don't come after me. We're just a community here. Please politely educate somebody and just be polite about it. And you might also be wondering why I decided to pull the subframe. Well, as you guys can see, this thing sat in the field for years and it is absolutely crusty. Like all the bushings are, actually they're not horrible, but they're actually pretty bad. It just looks dirty and crusty, and I don't want to put that beauty of an engine on top of this crusty, dusty old freaking subframe. So what we're going to do is we eventually will get some new subframe, you know, all the bushings, we'll get new suspension, we'll refresh the knuckles, we'll refresh the subframe and the steering rack. It's also really neat to see the subframe out of the car like this. And it kind of makes me really want to paint the engine bay, but I don't think I want to because I don't think my landlord would be really happy with me if I got paint all over the place. I've been back and forth on color on this E30, and I've been like, oh, what if we do like an Amola yellow, like a Volkswagen color? That might tick off the BMW guys. Or to make the BMW boys happy, maybe like a Laguna Seca blue in the engine bay and then something else, or like a all Laguna Seca blue. And then again, another part of me is like, well, red looks really good on E30s. What about purple? I have no idea what color this car is going to be, and I think we're going to find out later down the road. And I think the plan for the interior is going to be really simple. I think we're just going to do like a nice stainless style finish on the cage, and then the floor will get wire wheeled, and then we'll just do like a Raptor liner or like a bed liner of some sort. Probably just like a black color because the bed liner has like a little bit of texture to it, and that should help in sound deadening because I'm not running an interior on this car. It's going to be completely gutted. The goal with this car was to have it done by August to take it to Impact East, which is like a BMW show in Pennsylvania. But honestly, realistically, I don't think we're going to make it. Just one based off of purely financials. But it's also really good to have goals. So we're going to try to push for Impact, which is in August. So that gives me like 6 months, but realistically, that's probably not going to happen. We'll definitely try. So we set tonight's goal to be able to get the subframe out of the front end of the E30 in 2 hours, and I think we completed that. Honestly, it went a lot easier than I thought it was going to. And then we had a nice little yap session about my dreams, my passions, and what my goals are in life. So that is a reminder to you guys. Please don't take any of that as like me being cocky or anything like that. Like, I just kind of want to tell you guys like what my vision is for the channel and what my vision is for myself in the future. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all this stuff, and I will catch you guys all later. Have a great night. I love you. Goodbye.